So now we will analyze the expression for drain current for the two regions. Here in this slide, you can see there are two equations for the drain current in terms of VDS. Why? Because you know the shape of graph, right? The shape of that graph is dissimilar in triode region and saturation region, and it will depend upon your VGS, VT as well as VDS. But if you see the second equation, that is for the saturation equation, is IDs depending on VDS? Is ID depending on VDS? And why VDS is not included here? Why VDS is not included in the second expression? If you see this triode region, you are observing that ID is depending on VDS also. As per the equation, ID is depending on VDS. And the slope of the line depends on the difference between VGS minus VT, as I already told you. But whereas in the saturation region, we have no VDS term. Why? Anyone? Why we are not having any VDS term in the second equation? Suraj?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, why we are not having VDS term in the second equation?
So the current would be independent of the voltage. It reaches saturation.
Yes. It reaches saturation because the channel has been pinched off. So since the channel has
Yes.
been pinched off, the drain current is, it is not affected due to the variation in VDS.
Hmm.
Okay. So there is no term VDS included in the saturation region. At the same time, if you observe the triode region, the drain current is depending on VDS and VGS and VT. Okay. But at the end of the triode region, you can always expect that bending, right? At the end of the triode region, you are having some bending rather than linear behavior. You are having some bending, and the reason of this bending I already told you, because pinch-off has already initiated. So because of which a curve is getting. So that is, a curve means it should have a square term like a parabola. Okay. So we'll have a square term VDS square in the triode region, whereas in saturation region we will not get any VDS. Now with these two equations, we have two terms, that is W by L and Kn dash. These two are very important, W by L and Kn dash. Already we have studied this before. W by L is nothing but width to length ratio of channel, which is otherwise called as aspect ratio. I think you are already familiarized before. Aspect ratio. So W by L is otherwise known as aspect ratio, which is nothing but the ratio of width to length of the channel. Apart from that, we are having one more term, that is Kn dash. Kn dash, which is called as process transconductance parameter. Process transconductance parameter, which is always a constant. Again, it is not a universal constant. It is constant for one particular MOSFET device. Okay, it is constant for one particular device, and the constant is determined by the technology, the process technology which is used for the application of that particular MOSFET device. So its name is process transconductance parameter, which is nothing but the product of mu n and COX. Mu n and COX, where mu n is the mobility and COX is the capacitance of the oxide layer. Why we are including capacitance of the oxide layer? Because if you see the structure, it will be like this. Correct? Now this is your channel, and this is your metal plate where you are having the gate electrode. In between, you are having the oxide layer. So this typically behaves as a capacitance. That is two electrodes in between you are having the dielectric. So that is why COX is nothing but the capacitance due to the oxide layer. The product of the COX as well as the mobility of the electrons, it is can be considered as the process transconductance parameter. The unit is ampere per volt square. Unit of the N dash is ampere per volt square. So it is a constant and it depends upon the manufacturing process technology of a particular MOSFET device. So I hope this is clear for you. We are having two equations and you need to study these two equations, especially saturation region. For numericals, you need both. Okay. For numerical, you need both. So whenever you are coming across through the numerical problems, you should read the question very well and identify the conditions. What is the condition? For triode region, VDS should be less than VGS minus VT. For saturation region, VDS is greater than or equal to VGS minus VT. Accordingly, you have to pick up the equation. To identify in what region the MOSFET is operating, accordingly you have to pick up the equation and find the drain current by after substituting the given values. Given values in the sense the value of K and dash, the value of aspect ratio, VGS, and the threshold voltage. Is that clear for you? So no need to study the derivations of these two equations as you have learned before. For the syllabus, you just have this equation only. Okay, so based upon the region of operation, you have to identify the equation or the relation between drain current and VDS or VGS, and you have to take the equation, substitute the relevant parameters, and find the value of drain current. These are the two equations for the drain current for two regions, triode region and saturation region, respectively. I hope you have taken down. Kn dash is called a process transconductance parameter, which is nothing but the product of mu n and COX, where mu n is called the mobility and COX is the oxide, that is capacitance of the oxide layer. WL, I already told you, channel width and channel length, and the ratio between W by L is called as aspect ratio of the MOSFET. So till now, we have discussed about the working of NMOSFET, all the four cases. Just I will conclude the four cases once more. Case one, we have not applied any gate voltage, neither the gate voltage nor the drain voltage. So if there is no gate voltage means there is no channel, channel is not induced and there is no current. Case two, we have applied a positive gate voltage. Since this is a NMOS, the controlling voltage should be always positive, because of which the channel gets induced provided that gate source voltage should be greater than the threshold voltage. Even after getting channel induced, still we won't get current flow unless VDS is applied. So case three, we are giving a small VDS and we are tracking the change in ID. And what we have observed is the current will increase linearly according to VDS till 200 millivolt. So we can consider the MOSFET as a linear resistance in this particular region. That is, linear resistance means in the triode regions, half till one half of the triode region, it is behaving as a linear resistance. But at the end, what happens? The curve bends because of the pinch off process. So in case 4, when VDS is sufficiently greater than or equal to VGS minus VT, then pinch off will initiate. Okay, pinch off will begin, and at a particular point of time, that entire channel gets pinched off, and thereafter the voltage will lose control over the drain current. So even if you increase VDS towards a larger value, still the current will appear to be constant. That is case 4. So these are the two regions. You have to identify the two conditions for triode and saturation respectively, and accordingly we have given the two equations. In the two equations, we are having aspect ratio W by L and the process transconductance parameter K n dash, which is nothing but the product of COX and mu n, where COX is the capacitance of the oxide layer per unit area, and mu n is the mobility of the electrons, and W by L is the aspect ratio. I hope everything is clear for you, the introduction of MOSFET and its working. Now we are going towards biasing. All of you take down the heading, biasing in MOS amplifier circuits. So whenever you are designing any electronic circuit, you should be able to concentrate, or you should be able to bias a circuit properly. So what do you mean by biasing? Any idea? What do you mean by biasing, or why you require biasing? You can share your views in the chat box. Why you require biasing the electronic circuit? Always in lab, you might have seen that before checking the output waveforms or before giving the input signal, you will be checking the biasing of the circuit. Why you require to check the biasing? If biasing is not proper, means we have to change the design, or we have to change the circuit specifications, component specifications. We need to replace certain components, and again we will check for biasing. So why you require that? Suppose if you are designing an amplifier circuit, if the Q point or the DC operating point is not stable, then one portion of the waveform may get clipped off. So that is non-linear amplification. Always you are expecting linear amplification. Linear amplification in the sense, for a small change in input voltage, there should be appreciably large, correspondingly large change in your output voltage. That is what is linear amplification. Throughout, you have to keep the gain as a constant. That is what is called as linear amplification. But if the operating point is not fixed properly, you won't expect, or you can't expect any linear amplification. Maybe you will be getting some distorted waveforms. Either it may clip in the positive half, or it may get clipped in the negative half. That is, if you are having a BJT amplifier, you know that the operating point should be fixed in the active region. Even if it go towards a saturation region, or even if it goes towards a cutoff region, then things may not work properly. Correct? So biasing is to ensure or to fix the operating point properly in a particular region, in a feasible region, or in the desired region of operation. So actually it is fixing a point. Point means how many coordinates will have. Normally, if you're considering a two-dimensional graph or a two-dimensional plane, and if you're putting a point over there, what are its coordinate, or how many coordinates do you have for a point? How many coordinates do you have for a point? Please put your answer in the chat box. How many coordinates do you have for a point? And what are they? Please respond. Rakesh, 91.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just in a two-dimensional plane, if you put one point, how many coordinates do you have?
Two coordinates.
Two coordinates, x and y. So come to this case, our
Yes, sir.
case, PI graph. So what are the coordinates?
VDS and IDS.
Very good. VDS and IDS. Very good. So the operating point is nothing but fixing a proper drain to source voltage. Thereby, we will get a proper feasible current ID, so that the entire transistor will work in a desired region. So that is what is called biasing. So we have to give a proper drain to source voltage. Okay, we have to set a proper drain to source voltage, so that an ideal current flow will happen through the device. Thereby, we will ensure a linear amplification. This is what is called as biasing. Now, the most feasible region of operation for linear amplification is our saturation region. You know that for a MOSFET amplifier, we don't have any active region. We're having only two regions. One is triode region and another one is saturation region. Here we have to take care the Q point should be fixed in the saturation region. Why? Because here we are getting a stable current flow in the saturation region. As per the latest graph in case for whatever we have seen, in the saturation region, the drain current is going to be constant irrespective of variations in VDS. Even though you are trying to increase VDS to a larger value, but still your current is going to be a constant there. So that is the most desired aspect for linear amplification. Current constant means for a very small change in your input voltage will be a sinusoidal waveform that you're applying across gate to source, isn't it? You will have a sine wave or an electrical sine wave or an electrical replica of a speech signal. Ultimately, your message will be what? Speech, correct? The speech signal you are changing into electrical signal with the aid of a microphone, with the help of a microphone. So once you have an electrical signal with you, this is to be amplified because it is very weak, because of which we are not going to address, or you are not able to address a large gallery or a large crowd, isn't it? So we have converted our speech signal into electrical signal by use of microphone, and this electrical signal we are giving input to this MOSFET amplifier across gate and source. So since you are giving a sine wave, after filtering, you are giving a perfect sine wave. So the voltage is continuously changing. The amplitude of the sine wave is continuously changing, right? The instantaneous magnitude of the sine wave is continuously changing. So for a very small change in your input voltage, you are expecting a corresponding large change in your output voltage. That's delta V out by delta V in. That is what is your gain. This should be a constant. So for this to be achieved, your current should be constant. You should have a stable current flow ID through your MOSFET device. So operating point or Q point or quiescent point is characterized by a stable and a predictable drain current ID and voltage VDS that will ensure a linear amplification. But that will happen only in what region? Saturation region, where you will get a faithful amplification for all the expected input signal levels. You can give any signal level, okay? You can take any input signal level, but if you have fixed your Q point in the saturation region, then the output will be a linear replica or linear amplified version of your input signal without any clipping. Neither your positive half nor your negative half, any portion of the waveform will be clipped. Okay, so you are having a faithful amplified output version of your input signal, since you have stabilized your drain current ID, VDS. See the notation: capital I with capital D, capital V with capital DS, means the DC voltage and DC current you have been fixed properly in the saturation region with the aid of some electronic circuits, some biasing circuits that we are going to explain later. So with the help of some biasing circuits, we have been fixing our ID and VDS properly, that is your X coordinate and Y coordinate, properly in the saturation region, so that faithful and linear amplification will happen. Is that fine? Any doubts? So this is what is a requirement of bias. So in the next class, we will deal with the types of biasing, which is very, very important, and the numerical problems in each of these techniques. So how we are going to bias a MOSFET amplifier? There are 4 distinct techniques to bias, 4 different methods to bias a MOSFET amplifier, and we will compare which one will be the better, which will be the which is creating some disadvantages, limitations, and all those we will discuss in the next class. So before coming to the next class, please revise your portions. I hope you are taking down the lecture notes, the important points, okay, which you need to submit at the end of this particular module. Okay, thank you all. Already I have uploaded the attendance in the classroom. I'll give you 2 minutes. Before that, make sure that you give your attendance. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.